Yeah, you are watching the #1 podcast in the whole entire YouTube wrestling community, and I'm one of your hosts, Juanzo.
And I'm your other host, Jean-Paul Leck.
Together we are
Road Break.
And welcome to another episode of NXT UK, the best show in the WWE. I don't care what brand you're talking about, RAW, Smackdown, NXT in the USA. All of them are not as great as this show. We got great matches, more announcements. We got a no DQ match, loser goes out of NXT. So we're going to be talking about all of that. Thank you so very much, Paul. Your thoughts on this show?
Yeah, this episode, the big thing was the loser leave town match, so to speak. The best friends turned now bitter rivals. So that was kind of the whole thing you saw throughout the show. Sid Scala would be like, hey, just want to let you know, this is legit. One of you has to leave. And they're like, yeah, this is what we signed up for. And, we also, which we'll get into right away because it was the first match, but a match I was looking forward to, and really didn't get much of a match, so we'll have to see what goes on there with Ilya Dragunov and Dave Mastiff, and we had, my favorites, the Supernova sessions and stuff, so that's leading into a match probably next week or the following week, and then, of course, also throughout the show, they were hyping up next week the gauntlet match to determine the #1 contender for Kagan Ray.
Family, thank you so very much one more time. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, give the video a like, so, keep us going higher in the rankings so more people can be exposed to the original Road Break. Don't forget to follow us during this video also. AEW Blood and Guts. Thank you, Mr. Jericho. Thank you for, a really lousy finish. Thank you for a lousy, match. A lot of people got behind the match, but, really pissed off about the ending. And, all of our thoughts are in this video. So, Jean-Paul, just summarize everything in, 2 words.
Yeah, I mean, not good. If you just want 2 words, not good. But no, go listen to this. There was some stuff on the show that, it just, I don't know. It just really, they hyped it up and maybe they overhyped it. Maybe if they would have downplayed it, we wouldn't have been so disappointed, and not just with the Blood and Guts match, but with everything. Cody and QT, and we saw Nakazawa and all that stuff.
And Kingston,
so it just wasn't overall an overhyped, not a very good showing, but hopefully they can recover, but we'll just have to wait and see, I guess.
We'll see what happens, but, check the video out. A big thank you to Steven Butler. He gave always his comments. Thank you so much for supporting the original Road Break. We love you. Thank you again. So let's talk about, you said, we were looking forward for this. We wanted to see, these 2 guys, remember, the one guy is completely unhinged. The other one is being losing. So they say, remember, for the sport. Let's do it for the sport. We want to settle our differences. Kind of let's see who gets the most anger.
Yeah, because they said they're both pissed off. It's well, hey, let's have a match. And let's beat this anger out of each other and
in the spirit of contest, right?
Yeah, exactly. And Dragunov agreed, and the match started off good. Both guys. Dragunov, I would say, actually had the advantage in this early on. They were going at each other, the strikes and everything. He was trying to lift them for the suplex, the deadlift suplex, but Mastiff is way too big. He was fighting out of it and everything. And like I said, the match is going on. This is in the early going, so there really wasn't too much. A big elbow strike or to Mastiff's face.
I have it for you, Paul, right there.
Yeah, let's see. There it is. The strike right there, and then they locked up again, or I think he actually hit the suplex or something. But then he went
on top of Mastiff, and he was just beating him up 1, 2, 3, 4, and then he just let go, and then he he hit Dragunov like that. But then you see in the face he was bleeding right there.
And there was actually a decent sized little puddle of blood on the mat there, and they had the doctor or whatever come out, and you saw Dragunov. He was just sitting there on his knees so, and it's very it broke character, because before, if this was that was fake blood or it was intentional bleeding, he would have just kept going crazy, and it would have been 10 refs to pull him off, and it would have been but you could tell this was maybe not how it was supposed to go.
From another angle, Paul, right there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's him with the elbow, right? It's more like a forearm, but that's it with the elbow. Yeah, that's connect really good, yeah.
Yeah, so it probably, broke his nose or something, and we just see, like we say, that's one of the reasons why we like NXT UK. These guys are stiff, it's legit strikes and stuff, and I'm sure Dragunov feels bad. That wasn't the intention, but I'm sure Mastiff also was like, hey, if that was me, I would have been laying it in on you as well, so, because that's how these guys are. They appreciate the sport and the legitness, so this match was cut sure. They even said on commentary, they're like, oh, well, while this gets sorted out, let's hear from some of the competitors in the gauntlet match. Yeah. Let's hear from Kenny Williams. And then it was never, at least I didn't really, hear it. It was never mentioned like, oh, yeah, this will be next week. They kind of just like brushed it under the rug.
Yeah, so it's probably a mistake, like you said. Yeah. So like for you, I have the question. Are you working or are you shooting, brother?
Exactly.
Is this a work or is this?
Yeah, I would say that this was probably a shoot because for them to be a work, you would think there would have been maybe something backstage where you see Mastiff jump him like, oh, what are you trying to do? Break my nose? And they go at they would have had a storyline out of it. I think it was just, oh man, he's really bleeding good from his nose. Let's kind of get some cotton up there. Let's maybe get him to the hospital or wherever you need to take him. And, we'll see. Hopefully they play this into a storyline for Dragunov, like you're so unhinged, like you're unsafe in the ring, blah, blah, blah. Like, kind of use it for a storyline.
Yeah.
But we'll have to wait and see.
And I think they're, even, you said it, and I think they're going to try to go in that direction. Why? Because, they interview him after that. Like, can you tell me what happened? He's like, hey, maybe my shenanigans, my demons keep, working out for me. I'm not the same guy, so something needs to change. He did say that. He's like, hey, something needs to change. So we'll see what he does. Maybe, like you said, full heel. Maybe, we don't see him for a little bit, and then he comes back different. But again, probably this is a good thing because, like you said, they're using this to make the storyline even better.
Yeah, I agree.
So, now let's go back to the first participant in the gauntlet match next week. Number 1 contender for Kaylee Day. That's Brookside, of course, saying, I'm legit. I've been trying to do this for 2.5 years. This is my chance. Kaylee Ray is not a champion that everybody can feel proud of. So next time, this week I'm going to win it, and then I'm going to go up to be the new champion. I'm going to be fighting for all of you. So what do you think? Saya Brookside in your eyes?
Yeah, I mean, she's good. Like we had said, it's one of those things where she has that very, underdog, baby face kind of that's the role she is in. But unfortunately, there's a lot more. I don't want to say legit, implying she isn't, but there's a lot more legitimate contenders, I feel, for the title right now. So I don't really see her winning this. And especially with what we saw later on, I don't even know if she's going to be in the gauntlet match, not to get too far ahead of ourselves. Exactly. But, she is good. And if she would have that story like a Bayley that has that meteoric rise, eventually wins the title, I feel a bunch of people would be behind it, especially when there's crowd. Because then, the cheering and stuff, that always pumps up that underdog baby face a lot more.
Crowd way more than the heels. Exactly right. So let's talk about another girl that is going to be, adding to the NXT UK universe. And this is Stevie Turner. Now, she said, everybody's 2 dimensions. I'm 4 dimensions. I take it to the next level. This girl had already a match on NXT UK. She lost. But, I think that there's future in this girl. At least she has more of a character. So, this is just going to be, more girls added to this division that is already, really good. So, we'll see what she can do. Don't you think?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And we've been saying it here, this division is, I would say, definitely better than AEW, Raw, or SmackDown. Maybe not they don't have the names, they don't have the Becky Lynch's, Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley's, but they have at least, the talent, the character, and all these women are presented in a somewhat legit to a very legit manner. They don't have women that Nia Jax, where it's just a joke, or Lana, all them where it's they'd rather be doing TikTok dances than actually, wrestling. But you don't see that here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. So now let's go to this one. What did you think? Gallus boys are right there. They're playing soccer. So, of course, I'm going to love that. I was just already, in a different space right there when they were doing that. So Rampage Brown comes up and he's like, where's Joey? Where's Joey? Where is him? Oh, he said, once I'm ready, he'll be ready. So where is him? Give me the ball, let's play some ball, some soccer, and we'll let you know. And he's like, no. But Wolfgang goes oh, well, I'm here. So it seems like next week he's going to go against Wolfgang, right?
Yeah, I actually like this because you see, and I mean, this is a different. This I really don't like because how Gallus, we've been saying the past couple of weeks, they're goofy, not goofy, but before they were always real serious and all business. And Joe Coffey is like that, but the other two, Wolfgang and Mark Coffey, they're a little bit more oh, like you said, joking around, playing ball. And I like that. Rampage Brown gets the ball and they're oh, give us the ball back. And then they're yeah, Joe's not here, whatever. He's he's screw you guys. And then I like that he just slaps Wolfgang. He's well, you're here. How about you and me go? So
Yeah.
clearly, I think the progression is he's going to beat Wolfgang. Maybe he'll even beat Mark Coffey. Maybe he'll beat both of them. Then it'll be him versus Joe Coffey, and then we'll have to see. Hopefully, again, he wins it because, I mean, it's the same. It's almost going to be a Piper Niven story, whether it's Joe Coffey or Rampage Brown. If they go against Walter, they have to win because if they lose, it's like, what is the point? You know?
Yes, exactly. And now that like Walter is like doing Zoom lives, remember? Like he's
exactly.
In NXT. So we need a champion that he's actually in the building. So let's go to participant number 2 on the Gauntlet match, number 1 contender, women's division. Right there, the title is Isla Dawn. She said like she had to sell her soul to the devil, right, to get this like opportunity to win this Gauntlet match and win over Kaylee Ray. So really good stuff, you know. Like I was see on Hinge, you know, like she said, Kaylee Ray kind of formed her, and she actually helped Kaylee Ray to find her identity. Paul, what did you think about, you know, Isla Dawn? Like that was a good promo, and you know I like how they're presented her. So we'll see. You know, that could be my pick, but I don't know. Heel versus heel, I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, my pick really for this whole thing is Amelia McKenzie. You know, to spoil it, no, we didn't get to her yet, but Isla Dawn I like. You know, she doesn't need a swing set. She doesn't need a creepy doll with teeth named Lily or anything like that, you know, but she can still portray the same kind of gothic, demonic character, and I do like her. She's one of those as well who I could see her, you know, having this, you know, NXT UK Women's Championship at some point. Now, this brand, I would almost say, should have the tag titles versus the normal NXT because you have a lot of legit women on here. But I'm not, don't give them their own tag belts, you know, don't do anything like that because we've seen the track record of giving women tag titles in WWE. But, you know, she definitely deserves, I think, a push at some point.
Yes, yeah, it will be cool. You know, we'll see what happens. Let's go now with Supernova Sessions, Shaw Samuels and Noam Da. You know, not Noam Da. You know, they interview Nathan Frazier, and he's like, "Oh, dude, like, we always have first faces here, and we had you over here already. So what the hell happened?" You know, he's like, "Oh, so well, you know, I just felt like I should change my name. Ben Carter was the name that I used for people not to know that I wrestle. I didn't want my coach to know. I didn't want people when I went to college to know that I actually was a wrestler." So he's like, "Well, you know, like Noam Dar says, well, we didn't have to hide it from our parents. We were legit. We were always like told we were wrestlers, so it's good." And then, you know, he said, "Well, I came to NXT UK to learn from like the grades in the NXT, to learn the British style." Nathan Fraser says that, and then Shaw Samuels goes at him and says, "Well, I don't think that like you should even like have like the British flag, you know, in your entrance videos. Like I think that you're just like a phony. What is that with a one trick pony, right?
A one trick pony. Yeah,
one trick pony. Yeah,
yeah, and this was good. I like this back and forth, and eventually, you know, I like when Frazier is like, "Yeah, you know, I was playing. I forget what he called it. You know, he didn't call it like football. He called it something else. He's like, or soccer for you American fans." And I knew you popped for that, so I mean, that was legit. So, and then, you know, I like this because he says, you know, hey, if I'm not good in this British style, you know, or actually Noam Dar says, "Oh, you know, you're not good in this British style, you know, we should have a match," or, you know, but the match should be 6 rounds, 3-minute interval. So he pretty much challenged him to a heritage match. And then Nathan Frazier's like, "Oh, is that a challenge?" And then Noam Dar's like, "Well, you know, I don't know if it's a challenge." You know, he's kind of backing out of it. And Shaw Samuels is like, "You're damn right, it's a challenge." So we're going to see this match. I believe they said Sid Scala did already, or not Sid Scala, excuse me. Who is it? Yeah, Johnny Saint, you know, he already approved it. So, you know, we're going to see this, and this match will be good. As much as I like Frazier, he's one of those guys who, if I was, you know, drafting guys to make my own company from here, he would be one of my top picks. He has so much upside. He's young. You know, he's super talented. But I think Noam Dar needs to get the win here. You need to really solidify Noam Dar, because especially, you know, with this whole Heritage Cup, you know, scene, we already have, which we'll talk about in a little bit, babyface versus babyface. You know, what are you going to do again? Another babyface versus babyface, whether it's A-Kid or it's Tyler Bate? No, I think you need to have a heel in there. With
and Noam also, Dar. Like, you know, how can you present Noam Dar as that legit when he never wins?
Yeah.
We're going to talk about our boy Saxon Huxley. Same thing. You can be as all legit as you want. You can be the greatest legit, you know, the greatest and the most legit person in the whole world. But if you don't win, it's always going to be like Tully Blanchard said. Gold supports everything. You know, you can say anything you want, but if you don't have gold around your waist, keep saying it. Nobody's going to believe you, you know. So that's what it is. And now we go, like you said, remember the importance of this match. Like sits Kyle right there with like Amir Jordan. He's like, remember, like, remember, see that door? If you lose, that's where you're gonna be heading. So it's like, so all right, I get it, legit. So now let's go, like, people that belong to subcultures. We see the punk rock. We see like Flash Morgan Webster, like the Beatles, the '60s, and all of that. We see Danny Luna. We're gonna see Danny Luna in like a little bit, but you see everybody that belongs to a subculture join us, and we will be the most legit group. So I feel happy for these guys. They give them something to do. They give them their own identity. Good stuff.
I actually really like these because the punk rock scene is actually really big, in the UK and stuff. And I like this. Yeah, at least it's alive somewhere, But I like this, they look cool, Hopefully, maybe they would let me in with the bandana, the long hair, the glasses. Maybe I could join subculture, something. But this is cool. I actually like this, and I'm a fan of all three of them. Danny Luna, Flash, and Mark. I like these guys. I like her, so I'm fine with this. Maybe I'll be buying a subculture shirt soon.
Exactly. It's not what culture, it's subculture.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay? We're not going to be buying that what culture. It's hi to like Simon and everybody, but no. What's subculture? So don't you think that this was good though, because of the importance and how they did this video package? I really, really enjoyed both guys watching all the two matches that they had together, like pinpointed, like the spots. Oh yeah, he beat me at this time. We have Tyler Bate. Oh yeah, I know I could beat him like this. Then we get to see A-Kid. A-Kid, and this moment is when like I knew I was not ready to beat him in the first match, all of that. They go into the next match, like a few months ago, 4 or 5 months ago, and then they have the match for the cup and all of that, and A-Kid is like, no, I knew I got it. And also Tyler Bate goes back and he says, no, in this point of the match, like I lost it. He's like, he knew where to get me and all of that. So really cool promo from both of them, showcasing, the importance of this.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree with you more. This and the one thing, if I had to just describe this in one sentence, this made it feel real.
Yes.
When they sit and you're watching the tape and it's like, yes, right there at that moment, that's when I lost the match. You see NFL players, NBA players, any, legitimate sport players, when they're saying, they're like, oh, right here, this is where I messed up. Because, and you're thinking messed up, well, isn't it a predetermined sport? Yes, it is. But if you sell it like this, it makes it seem so much more real. Because they didn't mess up. That was obviously their intended thing when we said earlier, are you working or are you shooting? This was their intended thing. But if you sell it to me like it's legit, then it makes it that much all real. And I like it how it was, they had the first match, then they had the second match almost a year later. And now they're going to have the third final match, the rubber match, the grudge match, whatever you want to call it. And, if I had to say right now, I'm going to say Tyler Bate wins.
It's going to be Tyler Bate. It seems like it's going to be Tyler. But at least this feel legit, like you said, while this doesn't feel legit.
Yeah, exactly.
Like this doesn't feel legit at all, but that's what they gave us. So good stuff. I mean, in 2 more weeks, we're going to see that match. Heritage Cup rules, A-Kid, Tyler Bate, Heritage Cup on the line. It's going to be great. So I really like that, how they keep hyping me up for that. Danny Luna, we mentioned, we were going to talk about her in a little bit. Here it is. Another competitor in this gauntlet match. She says she has the opportunity. She's the strongest out of all these 5 women. We'll see what she can do. Is she going to win? I don't think so. She has the WhatsApp culture. She wanted to be in what culture? At least she has some kind of culture. That's fine. The girl is good. What do you think?
Yeah, I like this, and everything all these women said I felt was really legit, kind of getting themselves over. They all have different aspects, and they give different reasons why they think they'll win and why they'll beat Kaylee Ray. It's good. This is what do we always say? It should every, competitor, male, female, whatever, when you're in the ring and you're cutting a promo, what should it be all about? It should be about winning matches to eventually win the title. That's what this all needs to be for. And they all gave different reasons. Like she said, I'm the strongest in here. I'm going to prove it. I'm going to win. And, you believe all these women, So I liked all these promos. Again, it makes it feel legit. It makes it feel real.
Exactly. So now let's go to Trent Seven against our boy Saxton Huxley. Really decent match. Trent Seven trying to dominate. Saxton looks good, but one more time the guy falls short. And this was only done to, you see in the picture, you see Gradwell right there. So, you have this match to take me to the next match that is going to be for Trent Seven. At least they given something to do for the guy, because Trent Seven, like you said, is really good. I'm a big fan also of Trent Seven. But now, poor Huxley has a good character, could potentially be a great heel. But no, he has not won a match in a long time in NXT UK, and it's concerning for our boy. But Gradwell, at least, he's always good. He finds himself in ways that like he can be inserted into the shows. See, right now he wasn't in ringside. He just had a video to distract Trent Seven, and in the end we got to see, you know, like the big clothesline, you know, discus clothesline. He gets the win. You know, what did you think, Paul, about all of this?
Yeah, I mean, as this match is going on, like you said, it was kind of even. Huxley looked good. He looked dominant and stuff. Again, you know, the Bruiser Brody comparisons are there all the time. We see it every week. But the only comparison that isn't there is Bruiser Brody pretty much always won or he lost on a DQ, but this guy just always is losing.
Yeah,
so
cool.
that's the only comparison that isn't there. And it was set up perfect when Sam Gradwell came on the screen. I thought, okay, gonna have the babyface being distracted because we know what the main feud is. And this match might have even just been put on TV because of the injury we saw in the first match. I don't really think this was maybe supposed to happen. I don't know, but you know, we got it anyway. And then when the distraction came, I thought, okay, good, because you know then. Trent Seven, he goes for the 7-star lariat, but Huxley, he, you know, gets that big boot up, he blocks it. I'm like, oh, perfect, he's going to sell the arm. You know, he hit his big finisher, but no, he kicked out. And then we saw eventually he hit the 7-star lariat again, cover 1, 2, 3. And like I said earlier, you know, Rampage Brown, Joe Coffey, Mastiff, Dragunov, you know, you kind of have all these guys that are getting built up, and Huxley should be one of them. Unfortunately, he's not, because to me, I don't, like I said it earlier, I think Walter is on borrowed time. I don't think his days in the UK are numbered, because I think they want him on the main NXT show. So, you know, you should have a lot of these guys being built up. But unfortunately, like we say all the time, somebody has to win, somebody has to lose. But I don't think it would have hurt Trent Seven here to lose, because we know he has a future program, you know, with Sam Gradwell. And also that was the perfect way out, was the distraction. But at least we can't call him a dumb babyface because it didn't cost him the match.
Exactly. Look, he's one of the few that is not dumb babyface.
Mm-hmm.
You know, let's see.
We gotta.
I just love the guy. You know, great attitude, great personality, and you know, let's see how you said baby faces, right? We're talking about that, and that's your pick to win this match. Emilia, you know, Mackenzie. You know, Mackenzie. She's a girl. She's just back on NXT UK. We've seen a few of her matches. She's quick. You know, she's very quick. A lot of athleticism. Really good in the ring. I love, like you said, like that spear that she does, bouncing from the turnbuckle. All of that is really good. We'll see. Like you said, she might be the one to go against Kaylee Ray.
Yeah, suplex Mackenzie, you know, the suplex that she hits are good. That spear, I think that's a cool way to do the spear. And like she said in her promo, she's like, I wrestled the champ. I've gone toe-to-toe with her. You know, and what happened? What do they always say? The more you wrestle with the champ, the more you kind of figure them out. You figure out their game and everything. Now, that's not saying the champ doesn't do the same for them, but hey, you got to make it sound good, right? So, you know, she is my pick to win here because she's also the protege right now. At least they've been selling it like that on commentary and stuff of Mako Satomura, which I really think nobody from this gauntlet match is going to beat Kaylee Ray, but I think Amelia is going to be my pick. Maybe after the match, like I said, she gets beat up. Kaylee Ray, oh, you think you can beat me? Blah, blah, blah. You know, beating her up after the match. Mako comes down to make the save, and then we get Mako versus Kaylee Ray 2, which I think Mako will then win. But, you know, I'm still excited for this gauntlet match just to showcase a lot of these women who we really don't see too much. You know, so that'll be good because, like you and I said last week, we're like, oh, you know, where are the big names? Where's Valkyrie? Where's Satomura? But it's like, hey, you know, they had that amazing singles match. Now let these other women have their time.
Yes, exactly. So, like, and you said beatdowns. Why is important? Because Saya Brooks got jumped. And, you know, like I think Tony Khan was right booking this segment. They give him like, he's like, well, from all the show you have one segment. What are you gonna do? Let's have a beatdown. That's fine. Amel, you know, French. She's the one that does it. You know, she just like jumps her. She's like trying to take her spot, and you know, you see Saya Brooks have completely done. So her participation in this gauntlet match is in question right now. We'll see what happens, but like you said, next week, right there, NXT UK Women's Championship #1 contender gauntlet match. Oh, 2 lines. I did it pretty fast. So we said already picks for me: one Isla Dawn, Jean Paul, and Millie McKenzie. I think Paul is going to beat me really quick on this one, easy. You know, Jeannie has a lot of chances. You know, let's talk about Jeannie also because we didn't mention her. There you go. What did you think of Jeannie? Like, I think that for me, you know, the girl has a lot of attitude. She's decent in the ring, but like, I don't know. There's a lot of heels in this division, so I don't see her being the champ.
Yeah, and then that's the thing, you know, heel versus heel isn't as exciting, especially with like a gauntlet match. You know, this is they're making it feel special. It's not just like, oh yeah, you know, Ginny, you know, you're getting a title shot. This isn't Raw, this isn't SmackDown. You know, they're actually building this up, making it feel legit. So I think they're gonna do the classic babyface versus heel for this matchup. But, you know, Ginny, you know, she's still good. She's still a veteran in there, you know, and she has what's his name?
Connors. Joseph
Yeah,
Connors.
Joseph Connors. Thank you. She has him with him, so that always adds some. She gets maybe the advantage with him being out there. Who really knows? And it's interesting to see where all these women place in the gauntlet. Is somebody going to be in the number one spot? Are they going to make it all the way to the end and then lose to the final person who enters? What kind of story are they going to tell? That's always interesting with gauntlet matches. But with Xia Brookside being attacked by Amel, I thought she would have maybe been attacked by who was the one who was being her
Nina Samuels.
Yeah, Nina Samuels. Thank you. Too many names, but I thought it was actually going to be maybe Nina Samuels saying, screw you, blah blah blah. Maybe because there's some history there. But Amel is another woman who we haven't really seen too much. And again, a lot of these women, they're trying to prove themselves. Maybe she feels disrespected or something. And who knows? Maybe Xia Brookside actually got hurt in training or something like that, and they had to take her out. Like real life thing. It's like, oh hey, you can't actually make it.
Not working.
So, yeah, exactly. So maybe they put Amel in there. So we'll see. But I am looking forward to this gauntlet match no matter what. And I think also maybe whether Amel's in or not, I think this starts a program now, in the mid card for the women, Xia Brookside versus Amel, later on.
Exactly. So good stuff. Next week we're going to see this. Also, we're going to see Heritage Cup rules match. Noam Dar, Nathan Frazier, like we said. This is going to be great also, but like you said, Noam Dar needs to win this time. Nathan is still brand new for the universe. We don't really, we haven't seen him lose. It's fine if he loses. I don't think he loses any stock if he does. So Noam Dar, though, like his position in the brand, for me at least, his credibility is in question if he loses one more time.
Yeah, and he's the kind of person who, if Shaw Samuels would have a fistful of a roll of quarters, or even though they don't have quarters in the UK, but like brass knuckles or whatever, and knocks out Frazier, and then Noam Dar gets the win. That's fine to, be cheating and have that kind of bullshit finish because they're heels. They're buddies. You always see them together. It makes sense. It gets more heat on Noam Dar and Shaw Samuels, gets more babyface sympathy for Frazier. So, hopefully, if Noam Dar wins clean, I'll be fine with it, but I'll also be fine with a shitty, interference heel winning, so, but he has to win. Because like we've been saying, this guy, he needs to prove, because he even said it himself, how he's legit and he's so good. He even said the NXT universe says that I forget what he said, either underappreciated or underrated. And it's yeah, you are, because you don't win in the big matches that matter, and this needs to be one.
I don't need validation from anyone of you. I just need validation.
Well, he needs validation from Jean-Paul.
That's right. But it's gonna be a great match. So also now it's time to talk about the main event. No disqualification match. Loser leaves NXT UK. Kenny Williams against Amir Happy Dancing Jordan. Now this, at least like you said, he came out and no more dancing. Seriousness from the beginning until the end. He knew what was at stake. And I really think that match quality, not the best match in the world. We've seen no DQ matches way better than this, but at least the story that was being told, that made the whole sense in the world. And I feel that the winner, like you said, maybe this is making a big time heel in the mid card for Kenny Williams. So tell me about this.
Yeah, and maybe it was, not to give the AEW defense for last night, but maybe, they wanted to have this be more like a fight. It wasn't a super good wrestling match, but I do agree with you. We've seen way better no DQ matches, and with the story, I was hoping this match would have been a little better. I won't just be oh, this was great because I love this show. No, I don't want to say it didn't disappoint, but it didn't live up to the hype for me. But I do like this. These guys were all serious. It was no nonsense. But you see Kenny Williams, though, when he had Amir Jordan tied up in the turnbuckle and he sat there with the chair, he's just getting under his skin, and he had the toolbox out and he had the wrench or whatever that was. And, he was going to hit him and all this stuff. And it was just, I don't know why there's always toolboxes in these WWE. Matt, we saw one with...
We always have to add those spots.
Yeah, we saw with, who was it? Leon Ruff.
Leon Ruff and Isaiah Swerve Scott, yep.
Yeah, exactly. But, then they start fighting, over the barricade. He puts Jordan through the table and all this stuff, and they keep fighting. And, I like the spot, when they ripped up the floor. He did the big suplex onto Kenny Williams and everything. And then, at the end of it, he hits a big senton. No, he kicks out. You clearly see Williams is hurt. Amir Jordan is hurt. Both these guys are done. And then eventually, he gets the chair and, he goes to throw it at him. and he blocks it almost. Or I know he actually gets hit by the chair. Williams does. Yeah, he gets hit by the chair, and you still have Amir Jordan. He's up on the ropes, but after Williams got hit by the chair, he falls into the ropes, essentially crotches Amir Jordan, so he falls down, and then eventually he hits that big face buster, whatever you want to call it, for the pin. So, I mean, when he hit the face buster, I thought, oh, man, because, I always click the thing, okay, there's 4 minutes left in the show, okay, this is going to keep going. I thought he was going to kick out because I didn't think the baby face was going to lose here, to be honest. And then when he hit that face buster, 1, 2, 3, he lost. And, Kenny Williams stays, Amir Jordan goes. And that was a shock to me. And, I like how you see, Kenny Williams is on the stage, like, na, 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 hey, goodbye. No, but, I mean, the one thing which they had, like, applause.
No,
you saw Amir Jordan in the ring. He was visibly upset. So, he's selling the story good and everything. So that I like. It wasn't like he just lost and they showed the replay and it's like, okay, go to credits. No, they gave him his time in the ring, his last time, quote unquote, in an NXT UK ring. And the only thing that didn't make sense is there was a bunch of applause. I was like, who was clapping for it? Now, if you would have had the roster of baby faces come out and they're like, oh, Amir, you're legit, we'll still be friends. You can text me, mate, all this stuff. No, it was just random applause over the loudspeaker. So that was kind of dumb. I will say, if you're going to do that, at least have the roster come out and, give him the, standing ovation or whatever. But, we got to wait and see where they go. Like this, to me, it's not always the exact match, but what happens afterwards. If they really push Kenny Williams, let's say Tyler Bate wins the Heritage Cup, or A-Kid, it don't matter. They're both baby faces. Maybe Kenny Williams goes after him. You got to have something like this big match, loser leave town match. You got to have something where it means something. Where he had this big win, he has to mean something. You can't just beat Amir Jordan, send him packing, and then fade up to obscurity. He needs to actually do something from this.
Again, I think that that's going to be, like you said, easy. We can have it already. Kenny Williams, Nathan Frazier.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good matchup right there. Tyler Bate, like I said, A-Kid, another one. You have those matchups that can be like a really cruiserweight vibes from these matches, and it's going to be great. Because this is a good, big heel. He can always cash in on that story. Oh, I threw out my best friend out of NXT UK.
Because what his thing is that's perfect how you said that. He got rid of his best friend. And what does Kenny Williams call himself throughout these past couple weeks? He said, I am the scum of the earth.
Yes. So there you go. So like Kenny Williams, he's like building himself into be like a greatest heel if they cash it in the right way. Again, like you said, like maybe if the kid throws Tyler Bate or A-Kid, that will be really cool for him, and especially because it will be this match and then like the Heritage Cup, and then he can actually potentially be like a pretty good like in a main event player in NXT UK. When it comes to Jordan, I mean, he can do that for a little bit. He's doing it. I mean, we feel a little sad for that. But this is the moment that you rethink things. Right, Amir? Yeah, you sit down for a bit, you get a cup of coffee, what's going on. Maybe you have a wife that like is about to deliver. Maybe something is going on in your life. Stay in the obscurity for a few months, then come back. Or like you said, he comes back to 205 Live.
Yeah, I mean, there's 205 Live. Like we said, that the WWE is so huge in India. They have actually a UK, like a version in India, so maybe he'll go over there, for a little bit, or maybe main roster, maybe they like him, like we said, 205 Live, maybe even NXT, because we see you're taking Walter, you're taking all these guys. Maybe, Triple H or somebody really likes this guy, and they say, you know what? We have a spot over here for you, Cruiserweight division. We have Santos. We have Kushida. We have Devlin now. Because I feel like Devlin is more over in regular NXT than UK. So you have all these guys. Maybe they really like Amir Jordan. Because to me, he is a really good babyface. Like, when he said he can do both. He can be the dancing, and he can be all seriousness, because that's what we saw here. He was complete serious. There was no smiling, no nothing. He knew he was going to war. So, I like this guy. I'm a fan. That's why I wanted him to win. But, Kenny Williams, like we said, if they really capitalize on him, he'll be I think an actual better choice to keep on this brand. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Exactly. So he's like, oh, Jean-Paul, you gotta watch 3 hours of Monday Night Raw.
That's his face on there. Like, oh yeah, do you want to join Mansoor? Oh yeah, where did he sign? Monday Night Raw.
Yeah. Or like, did you like the Blood and Guts match? No, that sucked. Yep. So that's what happened. So family, Thank you so very much for being with us on NXT UK review. Don't forget to please subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Also, give us a like, for the video to keep going up in the rankings. And don't forget to also follow us in the social media world. Where, Paul?
And make sure, and the social media world is Rope Break on Facebook, the OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, and of course right here on YouTube, the home of the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Break.
And tomorrow, Paul, we're going where? We're going old school, right? Smackdown. Did you already see the picture of it? The fist is back. So we're going to be talking
Can we have it back every week? Or is it actual stage, or is it that 3D bullshit that they do where it's like...
Oh, no. It's just going to be like, just shots from like the past. And then they do the entrances with the AK. No. Actually, they're building like a stage with a fist from back in the day. That's going to be really cool. So let's see what happens. We're going to be live for that. So please join us, family. So, you and me have one more thing that is left to say. And that is...